If I told you there's a system so powerful that if you do it right, you can never lose a customer again, most people wouldn't believe me. But the truth is, 70% of your customers will leave you in the first 100 days of their service. Not because your product sucks, but because your experience does. Today, I'm going to show you how we successfully increased client retention from 50% all the way to 95% by implementing the 8 phases I'm about to share with you. This video is heavily inspired by the book Never Lose a Customer Again, which is exactly where we learned a lot of these valuable lessons from. I'll also be using real stories from my agency Unfungible, including the mistakes we made and how we fixed them. So let's get into it. Let's start with one of the most important phases. Phase 1, assess. This is where most businesses lose a customer before they even begin becoming a customer. In the assess phase, the customer is deciding, do I even want to trust these people with my money? Most businesses treat this as sales or marketing, but it's important you know that 70% of buying decisions are based on how the customer feels. Not your offer, not your marketing, but their feelings. This is where you need to pre-frame the experience they'll be receiving from you. Meaning, you show the customer before they even buy what working with you will feel like. I'll give you an example from my agency, Unfungible. One of our best sales hires to date started off closing like crazy. He'd consistently close 30% of all the leads we sent his way. So we'd always celebrate that, right? That's amazing, 30% closes. But around the same time, we started noticing our churn started going higher and higher than ever before. So we spent weeks, months trying to figure out where in the post-sale process we were losing the customer. It wasn't until a few painful months later that we finally had the idea to check the sales process itself. And that's where we figured out that the biggest reason clients were churning so faster than ever was because the expectations were set at Disneyland, but delivery was reality. He sold dreams we couldn't operationally deliver, and expectations were misaligned. And so the fix for that turned out to be very simple. We sat down with the salesperson and we taught him how to pre-frame better. We helped him show clients what happens after they buy, how our communication works, who they'll be working with, and what the first 100 days of us working together will look like. And here's the crazy thing. When you pre-frame your service well, you eliminate 80% of misunderstandings that could potentially happen later on. And this is where we move in to phase 2, admit. This is the moment your customer admits they have a problem, but they also admit that you are the best person to help them solve it. This moment creates a dopamine high for both you and the client. It's a rush of hope, of possibility, and businesses almost always waste it. This is your chance to celebrate with them, to reinforce with them that they made the right choice. See, when a brand signs with us, we swarm them with the entire team sending them welcome messages. We call out the close in celebration on our Slack. We congratulate them almost like we just got married to them. The energy is electric and we try to make it as electric as possible. Why? Because this is the peak emotional moment for them. You want to anchor it forever and avoid them ever feeling buyer's remorse, which is me foreshadowing. And that's where we reach phase 3, affirm. This is typically when the high from the admit phase comes crashing down. Buyer's remorse kicks in. Even if they don't show it, your customers start thinking, did I make the right decision? What if this doesn't work? What if I wasted my money? And see, the longer buyer's remorse goes unmitigated, the faster anxiety starts gripping onto their emotions. This is the quiet zone, the danger zone where businesses say nothing and the customers start panicking silently. So what's your most important job here? It's to affirm their decision. Remind them of why they bought in. Reassure them. Communicate with them as much as you possibly can and eliminate any fear that the customer might have by bringing them literal clarity. If you don't affirm, your customer will start drifting away silently, emotionally and financially. This is also, by the way, where a money-back guarantee can come in very handy because it wipes clean the customer's fear that they will lose their investment. If the decision is in fact changeable in the future, you've just eliminated two major elements of post-decision cognitive dissonance. The first is the fear of losing money, and the second is the fear of ongoing commitment. Now, on to phase 4, which is activate. This is the first real interaction after the customer has bought into your service or product. And it must be a home run. I can't stress this enough. Here's a story I'm sure many of us can relate to. Have you ever woken up on Christmas Day so cheerful, so joyful? You see a present at the bottom of the Christmas tree. Your eyes light up. You start opening it, imagining all the possibilities. Oh my God, it's your favorite toy. You've been asking for this toy for the longest time. You open the box only to realize it says no batteries included. Even if you are to buy batteries a day or two later, the magic is already gone. And the funny thing is, adults are pretty much the same. See, when Apple released the iPod for the very first time, Steve Jobs insisted that the first iPods ship pre-charged. So when people receive them, they could use them immediately. This is exactly the same principle coming at play here. Don't delay your customer's gratification. And this is where over at Unfungible, for example, we aim to book our onboarding call as soon as the client closes. And we aim to start delivering on their purchase just as quickly. And this is where I see many people make one of the biggest, deadliest mistakes sometimes by booking the client's onboarding sometimes a whole week after the client bought, or giving them their first deliverable a week or even sometimes 2 weeks after even that. Something I would highly suggest also here is a secret bonus. During our onboarding calls with our clients, we always make sure to end that very first interaction that we have with them with a surprise and delight moment. This is where we give them access to bonuses we had never mentioned before during our sales process. This is also a great way to ride the previous high that we had in the admit phase by making that first interaction just as magical as the moment they've decided to work with you. The goal here is to make the client say, "Oh my God, I did not expect that." And that right here is activate done right. And we move on to phase 5, acclimate. Now is the time for the customer to learn how you operate. This is the how the hell does this work phase? And businesses make one huge mistake here. They assume customers understand their process. But something we often forget as service providers is that, yes, we've done this thousands of times, but our client hasn't. They need hand-holding more than you think. I think one of the best examples of acclimate done right is food delivery apps, and how from the moment you buy your food, they show you exactly where your order is. Whether it's preparing in the kitchen, cooked, picked up by delivery driver, on its way to you, approaching, delivered. There's zero uncertainty in this process. Now, imagine if the app doesn't update for 25 minutes. You'd probably sit there, look at your phone and start thinking, did they forget my order? Is it coming? Should I order from somewhere else? Customers want clarity. We all want clarity. The way we do this at Unfungible is simple. We give regular, weekly, sometimes even daily updates. With your space topic is ready. We just started inviting guests. All 5 guests are confirmed and we're working on a graphic. The show's itinerary is ready, exactly like you would see from a delivery app. We even went to the extent of making the client's dashboard show them all updates in real time, exactly as they're happening. Again, just like you would on a delivery app. At this stage, it's crucial that you share with your customers what I like to call the proven process. In other words, what are all the next steps to come so that nothing feels random to your customer? This is also your opportunity, by the way, to reset their expectations and lock in their trust. So for example, something we communicate with clients during our onboarding is that You will have great, strong weeks and you'll have slow weeks. So what ends up happening when we communicate that? When a slow week happens, and that's inevitable, they're not anxious or they're not as anxious anymore because we've prepared them. This even reinforces the client's belief that, wow, these guys are experts. They knew exactly what was coming and when it was coming. See, the Acclimate phase's goal here is to eliminate any and all uncertainty, which ends up eliminating churn. Now is the moment of truth. Phase 6, accomplish. This is when the customer achieves finally what they originally came for. Most companies never end up acknowledging this moment. Hell, some don't even know what the result the client actually wanted in the beginning. This is why you need to, 1, know the customer's primary goal and track it, and most importantly, to celebrate it when it happens. Something we love to do, for example, when a client hits one of their major milestones, we absolutely love to send insanely personal gifts. This could be a signed football jersey of their favorite team member that they mentioned on one of our check-in calls. This could be a vintage Atari that they told us was the reason they fell in love with gaming, the reason that they are here today building a gaming company. This is the moment your client realizes that this wasn't just a transaction. This was a genuine transformation and connection that both of you formed together. See, delivering results is expected, but celebrating these results, that's what creates loyalty. Okay. This next phase is where most companies never end up even reaching. So if you've made it this far in your client's journey, congratulations. You are already well ahead of the competition, my friend. Phase 7 is adopt. Adopt is when customers say, I'm staying here. This is my team. Loyalty is emotional. See, it's not logical at all. You do this by rewarding their loyalty, giving them perks, treating them like part of your family, like they're insiders, by making them feel like they are part of something big. I mean, we ourselves often give our longest standing clients an entire free month of one of their favorite services. Why? Because it deepens the bond that we have together. You want customers to proudly say, I'm with Unfungible. That right here, that's adoption. That's your chance to turn a customer into a loyal fan. Which leads us perfectly to our last phase, number 8, advocate. This right here is the final form. Your customers become your marketing, your sales, your reputation, your proof, your promoters. They're not just fans anymore. They become raving fans. A massive chunk of our clients come from either referrals or outbound. I mean, being that we are in a crypto industry, paid ads are non-existent. So our refer a friend loop has generated us brand authority, faster closes, higher trust, better clients, and a reputation that ends up compounding every single time. Just take a look at our website. What do you think happens when other customers see a never-ending sea of testimonials? This creates trust that no marketing tool can ever come even close to. Referrals are the highest leverage part of this entire 8-phase system. Okay, on a closing note, I will leave you with this. Most businesses obsess about getting more customers, but the real money, the life-changing money, my friend, comes from keeping those customers. And you'll notice as you start to enhance and improve on each of the 8 phases of your customer's journey, whether it's assess, admit, affirm, activate, acclimate, accomplish, adopt, advocate, you will end up building a business that grows infinitely. So that being said, I look forward to seeing your journey towards never losing a customer again. Oh, and don't forget to follow or subscribe if you want more videos like this. See you in the next one.